Okay, it's more of them carpool confessions about Las Vegas, what's going on. So I'm just driving along, I see a little union hall for some union. I have no idea which union it was, but I saw local something or another that just reminded me about what's going on in Vegas. Because, everyone wants to talk about the glitz and the glamour. There's a lot of bad stuff going on right now. First of all, the visitor count is way down because of stuff I don't want to get into because everybody wants to talk about politics. I'm just going to say we get a lot of foreign visitors. So where do the visitors come from in Vegas? Mainly they come from California. Okay, great. But we get a lot of foreign visitors from other countries. Number one place we get visitors from is Canada. I don't know if any of y'all know this, but the Canadians don't like America right now for certain reasons. Again, we ain't gonna get into politics, please. I don't have time for that in the comments from either side. The Canadians, I don't know if we're gonna recover from this. Like I said, during one of my videos, I drove downtown and I didn't even think about it until later. It was an easy drive downtown for that time of day. Normally, that time of day, it would have been kind of a bumper-to-bumper drive through Las Vegas Strip. It was a pretty easy drive. I didn't think about it at the time until a little bit later. Wait a minute, where are all the people at? Well, there were no people. You can start looking around YouTube and you can start seeing videos of other creators talking about, wait a minute, where are all the folks at? Because they ain't here. A lot of the resorts are now quietly starting to let people go, or lay them off, or I don't know, furlough them or something. I think it's MGM. They've already let go of all of their concierge staff except for at one resort. That's because ain't nobody here. Gaming's down, everything's down, and it's really gonna start to affect stuff. And there's a lot of just folks, I'm talking like real estate and everything, where people haven't gotten the message. I was supposed to do a live stream the other day. I didn't do it. I was planning to. Next week I'm gonna do it. And it blew me away. There were more price reductions than there were homes that sold plus homes that were under contract. I have never, in all the time that I've done, videos on the housing market here in Las Vegas, I have never seen that, ever. More price reductions in the week than houses that sold or were under contract. So what's the problem? First of all, I haven't seen this many houses not sell. Yet, for some odd reason, the prices really aren't falling. Just over the last couple of months, the prices have remained steady for the houses that have closed, for single family especially. And condos and townhomes, they were actually up. That's surprising. And we actually hit highs a few months back, and that maintained for like 3 straight months. And it doesn't make sense because the numbers aren't there. When you look at the number of houses that are on the market, they've actually gone up. And I think what it is we are nowhere near the highs. Like when the market did one of these numbers a couple of years back, when the interest rates started to spike, we actually had more houses on the market, because right now we have about, for single family homes, we're just gonna say about 6,600 homes on the market. We actually got up to about 9,000. So we haven't gotten that high yet. That's when the housing market did that big ass correction that we had. So we haven't had that yet. And interest rates haven't spiked as high as they were, because they got up to about that 8%. But right now they're under 7, going down a little bit, like 6.9 or something for conventional, about a little under 6.5, 6.4 for VA and FHA. We're still got to see. It's just those numbers that are actually under contract and sold, and those are not good in my opinion. But it's those numbers, it's the casinos and stuff. And we're really lucky because Las Vegas has really diversified its economy since the 2008 crisis. So that's really helped a lot. So even though we have more casinos than we had back then, especially you got the new ones in, we got Resorts World, we have Fontainebleau. We have a lot more jobs that are outside of the casinos and everything, which is a good thing. And we have a lot more people. We have 500,000 more people than we had back then. So I think that's what's sustaining it right now. And still we have, sellers who really don't want to put their houses on the market. Right now it looks like some are starting to pull back, but it still is kind of frightening. You would have hoped by now the interest rates would have gone back down some more. I'm just really surprised that they haven't pulled back more yet. But I just really see some things out there where the economy is not doing as great here in Las Vegas as you would hope, because all these casinos, and they're not like really announcing it out there that they're, like cutting all these people back. It's just like not really announcing it that they're doing these cutbacks. And it's like some of these creators like Vegas Starfish that you're learning this from, that these casinos are having all of these pullbacks in their stuff. I'm just really waiting to see if other jobs out there are starting to do any kind of pullbacks, because it's really frightening when you see this stuff. But it's kind of a bellwether. So let's say in the casinos, when those people, they stop working, they stop buying things. I mean, that's just economics 101. Well, the people they buy from, they have to start laying people off, and it just reverberates through the economy. You have to realize that a fifth of the US economy at some point goes back to housing. So they stop buying houses, which means it then affects the housing market, affects the construction market, all of that stuff. Go down to a Lowe's or you go down to a Home Depot. How is that affected? I mean, in a town like Vegas, where we are dependent upon tourists still, even though we've diversified the economy, it really makes a difference. Then what about all of this stuff with these ICE raids? Now, we do have a lot of folks in this town who are, let's just say, subject to the ICE raids. Because I'll be honest, being in real estate, when I go out to a construction site, let's just say music is playing. And that music is not rap, it's not country, it's in Spanish. When you go to the hotels, many of the people working there are speaking Spanish. So how is this going to affect our workforce? Is there going to be somebody to replace them? Will it matter if all of the folks are pulling back from coming here? Yeah, so we got the folks from California. Does that make up from the Canadians? The Chinese? That's the second highest number of people who visit Las Vegas. But do they even matter? We actually had a casino that they actually built here specifically to cater to the Asian market, but it failed after a couple of years. Canadians, remember, they look like us, they talk like us, they eat the same food except for poutine and eat at Tim Hortons. I'm surprised we don't have a Tim Hortons here. Here's the thing, back when my knees could take it and my hips didn't lie to me, you know what, I played golf. Every single time I played golf, you know who I ran into on the golf course? Yes, Canadians. Every single time I played golf. It was surprising. I didn't realize how many Canadians came to Vegas. They don't come here anymore. That's one of the reasons we're having problems. No more Canadians. And the casinos are not full the way they used to be. And it does affect our economy. How many other people are not coming here? How many people are wanting to build up their entertainment stuff? How's it going to affect all these houses as I drive? Every time I see something, I swear every week I drive, there's new houses that are going in that used to be vacant land. Is that affected long term? The sellers who keep overpricing, how are they affected? Well, first of all, we're seeing this where, as the prices stabilize and go down and all these sellers saying, I need this amount to do this, buyers don't care. A buyer goes, I want the best house for the best price. They don't care about what the seller wants. Except for during that COVID time, they were going, what does the seller want? What do I have to do to get this house? Nobody's doing that anymore. And right now, we have shifted, even though on paper, it says we have 3.5 months of inventory for single family homes. And I did my market update the other day. Yeah, right. 3.5 months of inventory. We're in a buyer's market. Last few houses I worked with the buyers on, we were able to name our price. Like I said in previous videos, the buyer would go like, do you think we can ask for this amount? And I'll be like, I think we can ask for lower. We got it each time. They may have come back with a higher amount than we asked for, but it was still lower than one, they had, and two, lower than what the buyer was going, do you think we can get it for this amount? So yeah, so here's my thing. We are now in a situation where houses, that 3.5 months is, first of all, is bull. It's BS. Houses are actually taking a lot longer to sell than it looks like, because a lot of agents are playing a bunch of tricks. If you start looking through the actual data, I mean, there's just a bunch of tricks that are being played. Whereas I was looking at one where the house looks like it sold, you know, in a month. Been on the market for like 6-7 months. Like I keep talking about this condo that I have. It's probably going to expire in the next week and a half, 2 weeks. I'm not even going to worry about it because I'm going to be honest with you. The seller is not realistic. We listed at a good price, so that's not even the issue. The issue is the condo market here in Vegas is just outright is trashed out. And what's happening is some of these condos, their HOA fees have just gone up so much that people aren't going into them. And a lot of it is, we call those the investors. They're the ones who are just going in and just buying them for cash to flip them. And even the flips aren't selling. So every week, and I've gotten tired of doing it, I'm going in, I'm showing like, okay, and I will actually call every single agent and like, okay, what's going on? Okay, we took the offer from the investor. The same offers the seller's getting. And it's like, nope, I'm not taking it, it's too low. Okay, not taking it's too low. Why isn't my place selling? Well, you know, everybody else is getting the same offers from the same investors. And then the transactions close, and now it's at that investor price. Then the investors come back, make offers again. It'll be sometimes the same investors or new investors, and then the offers are less. And it's like, well, that's the new price. Okay, so we're not gonna pay that price. That's the new price. That's what houses are selling for there. Okay, so you go back to new price. Well, they're even lower. Well, yeah, that's the new price. Investors aren't gonna pay full price. Well, I'm not gonna take it, it's too low. Why isn't my house selling? Well, you keep getting offers. Well, it's too low. Okay. And we've gone through like several rounds of this, and now, I mean, he's, in my opinion, lost about $25,000-$30,000 because he kept doing this, and I don't see, you know, the seller getting any more money because now the new price has been set. If he had, you know, put the house on the market, you know, 2 months earlier, maybe he would have gotten a price, but the market changed. All of this stuff has happened, and now that's what's going on. And these are changes in the market, and it's the same as, you know, all of these visitors. This was pre-January. Again, no politics. This is a different market now, especially with condos, especially with everything else. Housing is taking longer to sell. And I was talking about those tricks, what agents are doing. Let's say you have a house on the market, it's taking too long, you want to refresh it in the system. So you go in and you withdraw it from the market and then put it back on the market. So to someone else, it looks like, oh, the house just came on the market. So when it goes in, it looks like, oh, it's sold in a month. So in the system, when you say, how long did it take for the average house to sell? When I come and I say, it's this amount of inventory, or the average house is on the market for this amount of time, those are the numbers that they're doing. Well, that's not true. So many agents are playing these little games right now that the market is just completely skewed. It is taking so long to sell houses now, it's not even funny. One agent I was talking to, she's going in and like pulling these numbers out and going like for like the neighborhoods of houses and like telling the seller, it is actually taking this long to sell a house in your neighborhood. Well, people don't want to hear that. And she is actually like printed out, showing them all the data, and she will make them sign a piece of paper to show that they saw this data. And then when they come back and they go, well, my house hasn't sold. Why hasn't my house sold? It's been 2 months or 1 month or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then she'll pull out the paper and go like, remember you signing this piece of paper here? And they're like, oh yeah, you did show me this stuff. This is the kind of stuff we're talking about because people have that memory. And that's why it's the confessions today. So just getting that off my chest. The economy is not what it was just 6 months ago. Everything is flipped. It is taking longer to sell. People are losing their jobs here in Las Vegas. It's not being reported the way it should be. And we don't know what the long-term effects on the economy are. These are my confessions for this week. Let's get on out of the confession booth today. Get on out. At least you know what's going on. Unscripted. Again, call, text, email. Watch the next video.